Okay, so let's get into business. Let's talk about variables in JavaScript. So what are variables in JavaScript? JavaScript variable, they're actually containers that we use to store values. They can be used to manipulate within a program. It's just like when you have a container, you store something there and you could make use of it later within the program. For instance, when I assign a name is being assigned to me so that you could call me by my name. So I am a variable. Yeah. So a name is being assigned to me so that you call me by my name. So we'll look into it. JavaScript variables. Mostly they're just like I said, they are symbolic names for values. They make it easier for us to be able to reference and perform operation on those particular value. So and we could use different ways. We have different ways of assigning variables. We could use the var, we could use let, and we could use const. So let's get into business. I'm going to be deleting the test we created earlier, and I'll be creating another script. I'll call this main.js. So this will be our go-to throughout the. Okay, let me do this. So let me rename this. Let me call this variables.js. So I will leave the link to the GitHub so that you could access every example that I've made use of. So how do we name variable in how do we create variables in JavaScript? We can use the var keyword. I can say var name is equals to John. So these allow me to access John by calling name. So that means if I come here and say console.log and I put name, if I come here and run node main.js, I should see John. What's going on here? Oh, sorry, variable.js rather. Now you can see John here. So John name is equals to John, and variable can hold more or less like any type of value. This is a string. We'll still get there later. We'll talk about the data types in JavaScript, but for now we're talking about variables. So aside using var, I can also use the word let. This let is the var actually is an old way of declaring variable. It has a function scope that can allow you to declare the particular variable, which means, for instance, I say var name is equals to John. I can say var name is equals to Peter again. Now, if I come back here, if I save this, if I come back here and I run this particular code, you can see Peter. So I'm able to use this particular Peter to override John. We'll get more into that later. So for now, let's just talk about declaring variables. So we're not going to be talking about var, let, and const. We'll still have a class that will talk about var, let, and const in details, where we'll understand how each of them work. Okay, so let's say let age is equals to 60. So if I come here and say, console.log age. So if I save this, let me clear this CLS. If I save this and I do node variable.js, you can see we have 60 here. We're able to get the value. So same thing applies. We can also use the word const. Const stands for constant. If I say const pi is equals to 3.142, I'm not sure if I get that right. It's only while I went to school. So if I come here and put pi here and I save this and I run the same thing, node variable.js, you can see we have 3.142. So that is our variable. That's how variable works. So all this age, name, they are all variables. We assign John to name, we assign Peter to name, 60 to age, 3.142 to pi, so that whenever we want to make use of it within our program, within our code, we can always call it by that particular variable that was assigned to it. So for example, anyway I want to make use of pi, for example, if I want to add the person's age and pi together, I will just say pi plus age. So if I save this, if I come here and I run this, Now you could see 63.142. So instead of me having to remember the value, say 60 plus 3.142, I'll just use the variable to which they have been assigned. So just like instead of me having to like trying to come to your house and describe you and say, I want to see the tall guy that has beard, that has a very dark face, that has a blue lens. I'll just say, I want to see John, and they call you out. I don't have to come and describe you because you have a variable assigned to you, which is your name. All right, thank you guys. So let's move to the next topic. Thanks. Bye.